start with the show at MetLife from the River Tour. Santa Claus is coming to town in the middle of July. We were saying no, no, no. The request on request. He thought we were all saying yes, yes, yes. But just to see the band jamming and having a good time from being in Europe for so long during that whole stretch of Europe shows, just fun seeing them home and happy and just being the typical E Street band the way they are.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Set Listing Bruce, your podcast all about Bruce Springsteen, his music, and mostly his fans. I am your host, Jesse Jackson, and joining me tonight is Justin Cantor, calling in from the East Coast. Justin, welcome to the show.
Welcome to be here.
Good. Tell me a little about yourself, as you're wearing proudly your Spring Nuts shirt.
Yep. I've been into Bruce since I was little through my dad. He taught me how to read and count when I was a baby. I recall him telling me that he sang "On the Road" to me in the hospital.
Yeah.
I went to my first show. I was in Devils and Dust tour, but I was so young. It was just loud, so we walked out and left because it was just too young and I was little. So just to get my first taste of Bruce, but my first real experience is seeing Bruce in the East Street Band at Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, Long Island during the Magic Tour.
Yeah.
2 days after my birthday. I think I'm 24 now, so that was a long time ago. Then we went to Giant Stadium in 08 of July. I think it was the 28th during the Magic. Amazing. Then we went to see Bruce in the Meadowlands, the second show of the Wrecking Ball at MetLife Stadium in 2012 when Bruce opened with Living on the Edge of the World. Such a fun night. Then I went 3 times in 16, the River Tour to Buffalo, to Brooklyn, the second show, and then to the first show coming back from Europe at the Meadowlands. Such a great show.
All right. Well, very good. Well, I always like to start at the beginning. So talk about growing up. It sounds like your dad was into Bruce.
Yeah.
How about any other music that your parents listened to?
Yep. Billy Joel. I listened to I'm seeing Mike Del Judas and Big Shot next Tuesday at the beach.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, listen to the Who, the Stones, Johnny Cash, Bob Marley, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and so you're someone who just Bruce has always been part of your life.
100%.
Yeah. Can you explain why he spoke to you, how his music spoke to you so much?
Just from growing up around it and getting exposed from listening to it from my dad and seeing my first live show with E Street Band, it just clicked with me.
Yeah. It just something about his music spoke to you.
Yes, and as I got older and as when I was graduating from high school stuff, it really hit me.
Yeah. What about it?
Just realized that, man, like he basically knows what I'm thinking about and what I'm feeling right now. Sadness and happiness and moving on in life, sadness, leaving the educators that impacted my life on a positive note.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's well said. That's good. So you mentioned a couple of times you've seen him live. I always like to preface this, Justin, with the amount of times you've seen him, I don't think is a fair barometer of how big of a fan you are, because it can all depend on your age and your economic situation. But how many times have you seen him?
E Street Band maybe 3 times in 2016 during the River 16 tour,
Okay.
twice during Magic, once during Wrecking Ball, and once my very first show was Devils and Dust.
Yeah, but as you said, you were a little young and it was a little too loud, right?
Yeah, but I think I've seen about 6 E Street shows.
Okay, good. Well, very nice. So, tell me a couple of stories about the shows. Give me some memorable moments from the different shows.
Let me start with the show at MetLife from the River Tour. Santa
Yeah,
Claus is coming to town in the middle of July.
very
We
fun.
were all were saying no, no, no. The request on request, he thought we were all saying yes, yes, yes. But just to see the band jamming and having a good time from being in Europe for so long during that whole stretch of Europe shows, just fun seeing them home and happy and just being the typical E Street band the way they are,
Yeah,
especially in Jersey.
do you usually see him in Jersey shows?
I've gone to a lot of Jersey shows.
Okay, good. What's the furthest you traveled to see him?
Buffalo.
Okay. And I hear that's a good venue too.
If that is, and that show, I actually had E Street lounge passes. My aunt's friend's husband happens to be one of the Sony Columbia Records like attorney, so we happened to have gotten E Street
Oh,
lounge passes. So I got to meet Jake and Roy. I was the first one that saw Jake. I said, "Holy SH blank T."
yeah,
I'm beeping it out as best as I can.
yes.
Jake Clemens went up to him, gave him a huge hug, and said to him, "You sound exactly like your uncle."
That's nice. I'm sure he appreciates hearing
Yeah,
that.
and Roy, but he really was much of a chatty Roy.
He was not. He wasn't a. He was kind of quiet.
Yeah. And then Bruce wanted him to go back, so they kind of took him really quick.
Yeah. Jake seems to be very friendly with the fans.
Yes, and I met Max once. Well, I was at a show.
Yes.
Well, at a jukebox show, someone lost my debit card. Someone turned in my debit card, so he said, "Is there Justin Cantor around here? I have your debit card." Someone turned it up. Got to go up on stage and shake Max's hand
Hmm.
while wearing my original E Street shirt from the concert I went to in Brooklyn.
Very nice. Brooklyn was a good thing. Yeah, that
Yes,
sounds like a
it was the
nice venue.
second show when after Prince died, so he did his encore opening Purple Rain.
Okay. Um, what tell me some more stories about shows.
During the show at Jersey, during the Wrecking Ball, he
Yeah.
got lost. My dad missed the exit, ended up in Newark Airport somehow. He's been going to games at the Giant games, at Bruce concerts, Jet games forever, so he missed the turn. It's because it's such a short turn.
Yeah, absolutely. That's hilarious. So talk about, Justin, favorite songs or albums that you love to hear.
Well, right, my favorite album ever, but I gotta say, is The River.
Okay.
Top 5. Let me do top 5.
Yeah, I'd love it. That sounds
The
perfect.
River is 1. I gotta say, number 2 is actually Letter to You.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of mixed in every day. My favorite album changes.
absolutely. I know that feeling.
So it's kind of like a number 1 is kind of like a tie between Letter to You and The River.
And
It's hard to choose just one between those two.
Yeah. Go ahead and give the rest of the 5, and then I had a question about Letter to You.
Definitely love The Rising. That's just because of everything it's about, and also love Magic is actually a pretty really good one.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the early stuff. I know I'm only young, but I gotta say, if any of the early stuff would probably be Born to Run.
Yeah. So, when you first heard Letter to You, what were your initial thoughts?
Just the tip that the E Street Band is back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just so good to see them and hear them, and you're like, wow, this is really strong. Of course I'm biased. I love everything that Bruce does, but
Same.
but it still was amazing to think, like, at 70, the band is putting out this kind of material.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have some favorite songs from A Letter to You?
Yes, I have to just look at the album. It's right in front of me, just so I can take a look.
Sure, please.
Definitely gotta say, Ghost stuck with me.
Yeah.
Song for Orphans, If I Were a Priest. Basically, the entire album is my favorite. That's hard to say with a Bruce album.
Yeah, I'm especially a fan of If I Was the Priest. I just love that song.
Yep.
I just love how it works, and how the harmonies with it, and Little Steven's guitar solo at the end. It's really, really good.
It is. I've listened even to the earlier demos of that song.
Yeah.
Just doesn't sound as good. It sounds like it's hard to hold on. My dog's trying to say hello to me.
That's okay. Hey, dog. Hey, little. What's your dog's name?
Jolie.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
there.
Hey, Mama.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Okay, I think she wants to sit now with me.
Yeah. So, is there, obviously you want to hear Letter to You live. I'm looking forward to, I'm hoping they're going to do a couple of songs from Western Stars when they tour.
Yeah, same. I love that album too, the movie one.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Rhinestone Cowboy. My grandpa, I lost my grandpa almost 22 years now, October. He loved Glenn Campbell, and I love Bruce. So Rhinestone Cowboy just clicked.
Kind of that was special, right? It felt like it was for your grandfather.
Yep, I was going. I was supposed to go with my dad to see the movie, but he had a car problem. He tried talking me out of not going, but I insisted I'm going. I ended up going alone, and it was just the right thing to do, and that just touched me.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. So, are there songs that, besides Letter to You and from Western Stars, that you haven't heard live, but you would like to sometime?
Yes, Born in USA. There's I'm Going Down.
Okay.
There's Atlantic City, Johnny 99. There's Rocking All Over the World, if you consider it as a cover.
Yeah, but it's still one you'd love to hear live.
There's more.
Okay.
Just to name a few.
Okay. Yeah, I know, like Jolie Blanc is one of my that I would love to hear live.
He did that
you got to hear that?
Yeah, Giant Stadium 2012 with Gary U.S. Bonds.
Oh, that would be cool. That would make me very happy. I would really like that.
Yep.
What are some other highlights of shows you've gone that you were, he surprised you playing something, kind of obscure or something different?
If I can go back to MetLife again.
Sure.
To August to the 2016 Mansion on the Hill.
Yeah.
There was Jack of All Trades.
Yeah, I was there the second night of that, MetLife, where they were doing the shows, and they did Jack of All Trades with the strings. Yeah, and that was so beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, same as opening of New York City Serenade. I happen to have looked at whatever the website or where they leak what's been sound checked.
Yeah.
On some sites, that was amazing. So I never knew what it was at first. New York City Serenade. Just like some songs that are on albums that you don't even know what the name of the song is. Sometimes it's live.
Yeah, absolutely. the what do you think? Um, what do you think of the? It feels like they're going to tour next summer, right? Next year.
Yeah,
What are you thinking? What are you feelings about doing that?
I'm happy. I think that's actually going to be the Letter to You tour.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, I think so too. Um, Tell me what are some other songs that you're chasing that you'd love to hear?
Um, um, I'm thinking. I'm telling me. I'm just thinking.
No problem.
Um, this Hardland. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Acoustic, or even with the Evening Street Band version, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There is the Ghost of Tom Joad, especially that is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Trying to think what else.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's more I just can't think on the top of my head. It's on the tip of the tongue, but I just can't. Hold on, let me look. I have all these bootlegs of shows right now. Let
Okay.
me see something that I've not. Youngstown.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I'm actually looking at the show from New Zealand, from Christchurch. I have all these bootlegs.
Yeah.
So this is the one I happen to have out in front of me. So
Okay. Very nice.
everything else, I've
Yeah.
just about heard everything.
Yeah. Um, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. How about you mentioned, you've seen the E Street Band. Do you go to some of the other shows, the solo material?
Yeah, the Max Jukebox
Okay.
Band.
Uh-huh.
That was maybe like almost 3 years ago.
Okay. Very nice. Good. So, what, tell me a little bit, um, the, um, are you your family are fans? How about any of your friends? Have you gotten anyone else to join in, liking the band as much as you, or help that you go with?
Only one I go to Bruce's is my dad,
Okay.
and my mom doesn't really like Bruce. She once took him to a concert. My dad once took him to a concert at the
Yeah.
Meadowlands a long time ago. She just hated it. Plus, they were way high up. But no one really else. My aunt and uncle were once in Paris and met Clarence in the elevator, but I just know of that, and I
Okay.
think
All right.
I think he gave them tickets to a show.
Oh, nice. So I also see you're a baseball fan.
Yep,
Yeah. Talk to me. Yeah, Yankees your fan?
Yankees.
Yankees your team?
Yep, I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah. And so it's how are you enjoying the season?
I'm actually it's okay. They've been playing better lately.
Yeah. I'm a Texas Ranger fan, so we're not having a good season at all. Uh,
I know. I pay attention.
yeah, and we're doing very, very poorly.
I
We're
know the standings, and I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, we're going to lose 100 games this year. It's just horrible. It's just not good at all. So we'll see. I just had we were talking beforehand. The person I was talking to before is from Boston, so we talked a little baseball about the Red Sox and everything. So and that's just a historic rivalry.
It
So
is. Hey, they play each other, Yankees, Sox, and Fenway
yeah.
tomorrow to Sunday.
Yeah, going to be good. One of my best friends is a Red Sox fan, and so we always try to, before the pandemic, would always go to a game here in Texas when the Boston visits. So, and then it's always fun to go see the Yankees play when they're here in Dallas.
Yep.
So other thoughts? What should I have asked you, Justin? I haven't yet.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, nothing right now. Nothing strikes to mind. Well, then we
No.
gotta let's gotta ask you the Mary question then before we get you out of here.
Yeah.
So Jay Armstrong is an honors English teacher from the Philadelphia area, and he's just recently retired, but every year his seniors would take apart Thunder Road, treat it as a poem, discuss it, and then at the end of that 2 days, he would ask his class the question, does Mary get in the car? So Justin, that is your question. Does Mary get in the car at the end of Thunder Road?
I'm trying to think. I haven't heard the lyrics in so Mary. So Mary climb in. Yeah, she does, I think.
You think she does, huh?
Yeah, because I think it's Mary climb in.
Yeah.
The town full of losers and we're pulling out of here to win.
There you go. Absolutely. That sounds good. Um, any final thoughts, Justin?
No, just excited for what the future of what Springsteen tour, East Street tour brings out.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is just the future is very bright for Bruce. I'm excited about seeing what he does next and what else he's got to do. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. I know you're on Twitter. Do you have your Twitter handle handy?
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Sure, no problem.
I have tons of things up here.
Yeah.
All right. Now I just pulled it up.
Okay. And so your Twitter handle is
Cheater
211, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
Hey, because you got to have a number. Absolutely. Well, good.
Yeah.
Justin, I appreciate you joining me so much. I
No
appreciate
problem.
your enthusiasm and how much you love Bruce. And I just hopefully we can meet at a show sometime.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
Very good. All right, you have a good night, listeners. You be safe. Go get vaccinated. Take care of yourselves. Let's all be good to each other because that's how we're going to get through this. And for now, we will talk to you soon. Goodbye. Doing a podcast at times can be a one-way conversation, and I hate that. So please let me know what you like and don't like about the work I'm doing. You can reach the podcast via email at setlistingbruce@gmail.com. The show is on Twitter at setlistingbruce, and my personal Twitter is at jessejacksondfw. We have a website, www.setlistingbruce.com. From there, you can find links to other Springsteen podcasts as well as other music-themed podcasts. We have a page devoted to our own SLB All-Star Band. These are guests who have been on the podcast more than 3 times. There is a link to our store where you can purchase Set Listing Bruce shirts as well as a Mary Question t-shirt. There is a link to our Patreon page where you can sign up to help support the podcast financially. We have different levels and different rewards based on your support. If you don't have any extra cash, and right now who does, you can support the podcast by subscribing via your favorite podcast player and leaving us a review. The more reviews we have, the easier it is for people to find us. And please tell a friend about the podcast, especially if they love Bruce or music, because it will make a difference.
You just heard the fun talking, hard rocking, music loving, album ranking, fan thinking, joy spreading, lyric reading, story sharing podcast that is the one, the only Set Listing Bruce. Set Listing Bruce is part of the Southgate Media podcast group. The theme for Set Listing Bruce was written by David Rosen, used by permission.